Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, question for you. Is this your Bentley?
Yes, it is.
And what do you do for a living out here in Miami to be able to afford a Bentley?
I'm an entrepreneur and an investor.
How long have you been a business owner?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm no longer really a business owner. I sold it in 2023.
Sold a company?
I sold my company,
For
yeah.
how much?
For me, my equity shares were worth about $90 million.
$90 billion?
Yeah.
So how much was the total company sold for?
Well, the company was valued at the time a little over $300 million.
$300 million?
Yeah.
And I go all over the world interviewing the most successful business owners. Could I get 1 quick minute with you for the channel real
Of
quick?
course, you got it.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
How long have you been a business owner?
Well, I owned solidcore for almost 10 years before I sold it.
What investment made you the most money?
solidcore. But I mean, I put 175 grand into solidcore and it turned into $100 million in 10 years.
So in other words, putting the money back into the business and
Yes.
investing in yourself is the best thing that somebody
Oh my
can do.
God, I would bet on myself every day and twice on Sunday. Like there is no better bet than me because I know I'm gonna win, and if I'm passionate about something, I'm gonna give everything I got. Now I'm a little bit more in wealth preservation mode. So the money that I made, I wanna continue to make money. That's why I'm an investor. I'm an investor in startups. I have money in private equity and hedge funds, in the stock market. I do loans. You know, I'm very diversified now. But I think for entrepreneurs, if you think you have the special sauce, you gotta go all in on yourself.
I love that. Did you have a lot of people that hated on you or doubted you when you were building your business?
I mean, I'm a woman who's been very successful. Of course, I've had other people who has hated on me. It's just part of the process. So the way that I deal with that is I just try to empower as many women as possible.
Right. So how did you personally find that self-belief to go generate millions and millions of dollars? Because a lot of people don't doubt themselves when they start out. They kind of get worried about people saying stuff about them. They're going out of the box. How did you find the self-belief to make millions of dollars?
You just have to not care, you know? And the things that I was building a company that was making people's lives happier and healthier. So I was excited every single day. There was nothing that was going to get in the way of me building an empire across the country that I thought was improving people's lives. And normally, the people that have something to say about that are people who normally sit on the sidelines and aren't actually doing the work. So why would I care what they have to say anyway?
They're watching from the bleachers. They're not actually in the game.
Exactly. And you know, the cheap seats are called cheap seats for a reason.
Wow. I love that. That's game right there. Are you a reader by any chance?
Yes.
How many books have you read?
Over my lifetime?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if I can even do that math. A lot.
What was the number one book that changed your life?
Oh my gosh, the number one book that I read every few years is what I've already mentioned, and it's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It is simple, it is effective, and it's one of the reasons we started using names at solidcore. So if you've ever been to a solidcore class, you hear your name over and over again. Why? Because your name is the most important word to you in any language. So I wanted to make sure that you felt seen, at home, respected, and it makes you want to come back into an environment that you feel that way.
What's the deepest life quote that you've ever heard?
Easy choices, hard life. Hard choices, easy life. Listen, I think a lot of people think after selling solidcore, I'm gallivanting around and doing whatever. I'm up pretty much every day by 5:36 a.m. I am at the gym 6 days a week. I play beach volleyball for 2 to 3 hours, 5 days a week. I cook my own food. You know, I'm as disciplined as they come because I want to be as healthy and as active for as long as possible. And if I make decisions that aren't in support of that, I'm going to have a difficult time in my 50s, 60s, and 70s. So I choose to make the hard decision now to continue to make sure my life stays as easy and comfortable as possible.
It reminds me of this saying, the road to heaven often feels like hell, and the road to hell often feels like heaven.
Yeah, you know, and like make decisions today that make you proud of yourself today and make you proud of yourself tomorrow. So like if you're gonna go out drinking all day today, might feel fun and good in the moment, but guess what happens the next day? You feel like shit, you have low energy. I just don't put myself in those situations.
Right. So was it all worth it? Was the sacrifice to build a $100 million company, was it all worth it?
Oh my, I didn't feel like I sacrificed anything. I loved every part of it. I learned so much. My team was amazing, and I got to build a company that helped people create the strongest version of themselves. Like I would do it all again in a heartbeat.
You got amazing advice.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate that.